Yo, Nick Shirley is back at it again. And this time he is interviewing a Chicago councilwoman who is now a whistleblower, and she is telling the dirt on the Chicago mayor and the councilmen of Chicago. Now, when it comes to illegal immigration, Nick Shirley has been on their necks, especially when it comes to fraud. Yeah, if you're not familiar with who Nick Shirley is, he is the, I could say kid because he's younger than I am, and he's a lot younger than we may think. He is the kid that blew the whistle on fraud happening in Minnesota, fraud happening in Chicago, fraud happening in New York, just fraud all around in these blue cities. And when I say blue city, I'm talking about none other than Democratic-ran cities. And a lot of migrants, or let me rephrase that, a lot of illegal migrants do not like this man at all because he is blowing the whistle on all of the fraud they have going around. Even the councilmen, the politicians, the mayors, the governors, they do not like Nick Shirley at all. And they hate to see him coming. Now, he decided to sit down with this councilwoman who is now going to tell us exactly what the hell is going on in Chicago, because I'm curious to know, why is it Chicago is a sanctuary city, which means that they do not have to work with ICE when it comes to deporting illegal immigrants. And when I say immigrants, that I added illegal to the front of it, right? Because they want you to think that these people came here legally, or they did something legally, or they didn't do anything at all, but ICE is targeting them when that is not purely the case. And if you disagree with me, leave a comment in the comment section so we can have that conversation about illegal and legal migrants.
With 𝗵𝗶𝗏, she's a chairman here inside the Chicago, and she knows everything about the Chicago migrant crisis and what is going on here. And overall, what are you guys seeing here in Chicago with the migrant crisis?
We want them to go home. We want ICE to come here and use their $25 billion budget to take care of this problem and get these people back to where they came from. The citizens of Chicago cannot afford to continue to subsidize this human trafficking operation.
If ICE wanted to, could they come in here and take the migrants away, or is it?
Yes and no. So we're a sanctuary city. Our sanctuary city ordinance prevents the Chicago Police Department from working directly with ICE. So if they catch an illegal, they can't say this person is illegal, ICE come get them. So this is why we have people who are here illegally committing crimes over and over again without any federal intervention.
And that, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is disgusting and despicable, because whenever you blur the line between legal and illegal migrants, because I am a legal immigrant myself, my parents were, my family is. When you blur that line, that means the people who actually did it the legal way, who went through the legal channels, who filled out the proper paperwork in order to become legal in this country, what? Guess what you do then? Guess what you do? You downplay the hard work that they had to do in order to become legal migrants, in order to become legal citizens of this country. But these people do not care. This is the reason why they create sanctuary cities where illegal immigrants can run to and hide. And of course, they get subsidized by what? The taxpayer. They get free food. They get free healthcare, free money, free housing, free schooling, free everything. And they try to stay on it for as long as possible, while some of them even send that money that they are receiving from you, the taxpayer, they send it to their country, back to their home country, to feed, clothe, and house their families over there, while simultaneously not even paying into the tax system here.
And have there been a lot of cases where migrants have committed some pretty grievous crimes here?
Yes, the most egregious crime that I've seen committed thus far is a woman was raped at 7 p.m. on the Chicago sidewalk by a migrant as she got off of the train. And I want to point out that these are not migrants, these are illegal immigrants. Our grandparents were migrants when they left the South to come to Chicago. A migrant is someone who's within the country who moves from one space to another space for economic purposes. These people are illegal immigrants because they chose to be illegally trafficked here. So I just
And that is not to say that, of course not. We know that citizens of this country are sick and mentally ill as well. But when you have those citizens that are committing those crimes, and then on top of that, you have illegal immigrants that come in and create those crimes, guess what? One is worse than the other. You want to know why or how? It is because a citizen can actually be identified. They can run a grape kit on the victim, and that person could be identified because they may be in the system. But when you have an illegal, someone who is here illegally, an illegal migrant, guess what? They're not in the system. No fingerprints, no DNA, anything at all, nothing. They're not in the system. So then it makes the job harder for the cops, for the authorities to catch these people. This is one of the reasons why they're free to commit these crimes. This is the reason why they don't care, and they will continue to commit these crimes. I just saw an illegal migrant literally walk up to a woman walking down the street in front of a convenience store, and he hammered her down. And when I say hammered her down, he deleted her. He took her out with a hammer. With a hammer on camera. You can actually see this from the camera of that convenience store. It was despicable, and I couldn't believe it myself. I was in shock as I watched this man, as I watched him hit her over the head so many times. So many times. And yes, he was an illegal migrant. At the same time, this is who some of these countries are sending here to America. People who are mentally ill. They're not sending their best. They are sending their worst. And that's part of the problem.
I want to make that straight. These are not migrants.
Yeah, and why do you think the news and why do you think they're always saying migrants, or now they're saying even newcomers?
Because they are trying to run a psych op on the people.
That's a fact.
So you call them a migrant, you're thinking, oh, well, they're just moving from one section to another section.
You humanize
them. So these are illegal immigrants. They chose to bypass our system and be illegally trafficked into our country.
And people like you, people that live here in Chicago, are the majority of Chicago's people, are they welcoming these people, or are they wanting
Absolutely
them out?
not. We wanted them out. So we asked the city council to make a referendum asking Chicago, should Chicago remain a sanctuary city, yes or no? The city council declined to give us that referendum because they knew that if they were to put that on the ballot, there would be a resounding no, go home. Again, we are taking tax funds away from our people, and we're giving it to people who don't deserve it, who have never paid any taxes here, who have never battled the system, people who have never voted. Our people have been here for a long time paying into the tax base legally, and now we're seeing that criminality is rewarded via tax dollars in Chicago.
How much money is a person like you, or the average Chicago person, having to pay in taxes here? How much dollars getting sent to
Well,
tax?
I'm not sure, because we get property tax bills. We're paying a bag tax of 7 cents per bag. There's just a lot of different tax structures here. Chicago's a very expensive city, but I'll give you one example. The opioid crisis has decimated Chicago, and that's because Chicago is the epicenter of the Mexican cartel. They chose the west side of Chicago specifically for their headquarters.
Makes
for 3
sense.
reasons. One, all roads in America lead to the west side of Chicago. That's why we have the Loop, which is on the west side. We also have a high black male unemployment rate in the fact that we're a sanctuary city. So because we are selling over $1 billion of heroin a year from our neighborhoods, 90% of the heroin in this country is trafficked off the west side of Chicago.
Wow.
That creates a narco kind of culture.
Wow. That's disgusting. And trust me, I am familiar with Brandon Johnson. I am very familiar with Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, because when it comes to Brandon Johnson, he does not care about his citizens. He tries to act as if he does, but he does not care about his citizens. He is a failed mayor. And why he's still in office? I don't know. When it comes time to voting his ass out, trust and believe. I believe the people of Chicago hopefully vote his ass out, because you only get what you vote in. You only get what you ask for. So if y'all keep voting in these Democratic politicians, guess what you're going to continue getting? You're going to continue getting the policies of Democratic politicians. Those sanctuary cities will continue and will remain as part of your cities as long as you keep voting these people in. Brandon Johnson has done some despicable and unthinkable things. And in order for you to right the wrongs that he's done, you have to get him out of office, and I hope that they do. This young lady here, she is definitely opening the door for this to happen because she's sharing this information with Nick Shirley, who is now sharing it with us, and I'm sharing it with you so that you, the viewers, can see what is really going on in these cities when it comes to sanctuary cities and some of the terms and names that they try to change so that you can have sympathy for an illegal migrant, a person who came across the border, who was trafficked illegally into this country, and then given, of course, all of the subsidies that the citizens should be getting.
Yeah.
And do you think with the narcos and with the cartel being here in Chicago, do you think a lot of these people that are coming over are being told to go to Chicago so they can work with the cartel?
Absolutely. They're importing their own workforce. Because what happened is the reason that 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗀 is in prison right now at this very moment is because there was a black guy on the west side of Chicago who was caught with drugs. The Chicago Police Department said, "Where did you get these drugs from?" He said, "I bought them from these twins over in Little Village." So the Chicago Police Department goes over, they start to investigate the twins in Little Village, where these were actually 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗀's number 1 and number 2 guys.
Wow.
In the United States. So this goes from a simple drug possession case to an international drug trafficking.
They're illegal.
When you're employing Americans, of course they're going to say whatever they have to say to go back to their families. These people have no ties here.
Not to mention it's also a voting base. Voting base. When you import a bunch of people and bring them here illegally, and then you give them all of this free stuff, guess what? Guess who they are going to vote for? You, of course. They're going to continue to vote for your party. So let's say you import 8 million of those people and you give them free shit. Guess who they are going to continue voting for? They're going to continue voting for the Democratic Party. This is the reason why the Democratic Party is trying to push for what? No ID to vote. Oh, yes. Let anyone come and vote. This is the reason why they're pushing for it, because they have already imported their new voting base, and that base is going to keep them in office. This is what they want. They want to remain in power. So now when you have to show ID in order to vote, and those 8 million illegal migrants don't have any ID, guess what? The voting base declines, and that is what they don't want.
A lot of these migrants, when they come over, they commit a crime, they're released, and then they're ghost criminals, and they can change their name.
Voila. And go to another space and do it over and over again.
And
makes sense.
A lot of the migrants here making up social security card numbers to work, and
wow,
they receive
makes sense.
No, well, they've caught them with fake social security cards. There was this one guy they caught. They said that they found his card, and in the back it had like the stick. They had the watermark where he had like literally printed it offline. Really? So they're doing everything. They've already found illegal ID meals over in different neighborhoods. So this is an ongoing thing. We've been a sanctuary city for a long time. So we, in a way, have perfected falsifying documents, getting people who are here illegally ways to work. And so people know, because we already have that infrastructure to serve them, this is the best place for them to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, and this is exactly what Brandon Johnson is doing when he created the sanctuary city of Chicago. When he made Chicago a sanctuary city, this is exactly what he did. He is actually helping drug trafficking. He's actually helping the cartels. He's helping the decline of his own city. His own citizens are hurting, especially the ones who are addicted to drugs, because what did she say? The $50 million that they were supposed to get in order to help them, he gave it to the illegal migrants. Then he even turned some of the schools into hotels for illegal migrants. Yes, there's a line of despicable things that Brandon Johnson has done. And I tell you that the viewers, the voters, you need to go out there. If you live in Chicago, you need to go out there and make sure that when the midterms come, make sure that when it's time to get his ass out of office, you get him out of office. Because y'all did it with the mayor before him, who sucked ass. She was terrible. She was a terrible, horrible mayor. And then for y'all to vote this guy in, Brandon Johnson, who is even worse, I don't understand what is going on. But then again, she was also a Democrat. He's a Democrat. And I guess Chicago is a Democrat city. And for y'all to change that, you have to vote red.
With the Chicago being a sanctuary city, the 3 years before this, before Joe Biden became president, would you guys see migrants outside panhandling?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is brand new for us. I think that Jim Crow Joe has not only decimated the country, but especially Chicago, because we are being flooded with these people. And our mayor said yesterday that we could take up to 400,000 of them.
And can you guys take up 400?
Absolutely not. We don't have space for them.
What?
We have people here in Chicago who have been waiting on the Chicago Housing Authority on their waiting list for over 20 years. The Chicago Housing Authority is hoarding over $1 billion of federal housing funds, while our people are parked in Iowa and Wisconsin and all these other spaces. So until we can figure out how to get our people back in the housing that they were promised, we have no space, no vacancy for anybody else in Chicago. Our people need to be housed.
She made sure she looked at the camera and said that, because I truly believe there's no way 400,000 more people coming into your city, flooding into your city, while the citizens of that city are waiting for housing, while the citizens of that city are waiting for work, while there's not enough jobs to go around. Then what happens? You got 400,000 new people that come in. It's going to even be worse. Jobs are going to even be more scarce. They don't understand. No, matter of fact, they know exactly what is going on. Brandon Johnson and all the other Democrats that are in office in these cities, they know exactly what is going on. And I honestly believe, in my own opinion, she called him Jim Crow Joe. That is the perfect nickname for him. I honestly believe that these Democratic-led cities, not even the cities, you could say these Democrats, these politicians, they are trying to ruin this country. Ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat that for you. They are trying to destroy this country. And they are doing it one policy at a time, and you cannot allow them to. You must fight back. And when I say fight back, I'm not talking about violently. I'm talking about you must fight back in the polls. And then we can get these people out of office. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.